Les Brown, an author and speaker, says too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears.
So if you're living in a situation that you feel isn't good for you, that you're pulled down instead of lifted up, now's the time to say no.
Right.
Because you may fear that you'll never reach your dreams. You may feel that you're helpless and you've learned that you have no
Join us for life stories
and meaningful moments in the community. Hey there, glad you joined us.
Here's a question. Do you feel the world is becoming more negative?
We're Doug and Lynne Nodland from SharingLife'sLessons.com. And unfortunately, if you said yes, you're right.
Because a recent Gallup poll showed that the world is becoming more sad, stressed, and negative.
And we can't control how everyone else feels,
Right.
but we can control how we feel by the choices we make and what we say yes and no to in our life.
We have some examples of that, how that kind of affected our life.
Yes.
You're right.
A few years ago, we had a dog that we really loved. And unfortunately, as they do, he got old.
Yeah, 19 and a half years.
Yes, the vet called him immortal, but one day the vet said, well, can't help him anymore. So we held him until he passed into doggy heaven.
And then we said no to any more dogs.
Oh, no, never.
Yeah.
It broke our hearts.
Right.
Oh, however.
Another dog came along and it just warmed our hearts, and we said yes to him.
Yes.
Tootsie.
And the moral of the story is that sometimes you can miss some really good things by saying no, totally.
Right.
And people do this in relationships.
Exactly. Right. Maybe he got hurt and say, well, I'm not going to have any more. I don't want to get close again. Right.
Right. So we want to take a look at when it's good to say yes and when it's good to say no. So let's start with looking at when to say no.
Les Brown, an author and speaker, says too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears.
So if you're living in a situation that you feel isn't good for you, that you're pulled down instead of lifted up, now's the time to say no.
Right.
Because you may fear that you'll never reach your dreams. You may feel that you're helpless and you've learned that you have no choice.
When you say helpless, that concept applies, would you believe, to circus elephants. And you may wonder why. Well, have you ever noticed that when circus elephants aren't performing, they have a chain around their leg tied to a small stake in the ground, and you think, well, that elephant can lift tons, why can't he just pull up that stake and walk away? Well, the answer is because when they were small, that small elephant had a big chain around its leg tied to a stake that went deep into the ground, and he tried to get it out and just finally came to the belief that it's impossible and gave up. And then that elephant carried that same belief all the way up until when he was bigger. And that's a concept called learned helplessness.
Yes. And we encourage you, those binding things that keep you tied down. Get the support you need, use your strengths so that you can say yes.
Exactly.
So let's look at saying yes.
Eckhart Tolle says, say yes to life and see how life suddenly starts working for you rather than against you.
When you say yes, you find opportunities. You can take risks and get out of your comfort zone, and often support shows up to help you.
Exactly. So how about you? Are you struggling with when and how to say yes or no?
Well, if you are unsure, get some guidance. But then, don't let negative people, bad situations, or your own fears stop you. You can create your very best life.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can contact us at WeCare@SharingLife'sLessons.com.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.